What's up, guys? My name's Cody and we are back with another video, and today we are talking about how to fix EA Sports UFC 5. Alright, I put out my review when the game first came out, and I'll admit, I was a little bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, okay? I've been playing UFC 4 for God knows how long, and any improvement felt like of just a whole new world. And I get why some of you guys were like, oh, come on, bro, 8.5. I think I said 8.5 if you put in my biasness towards the fact that I'm just a diehard MMA fan. And I did preface it with that. But the reality is, in the current state, an 8 to an 8.5 is a little generous. Realistically, I'm going to give this game currently in its state a 7 out of 10. Okay? I do think the potential is 10 out of 10. I think the potential is all the way there. The graphics are great. The animations are better. They're pretty solid. The responsiveness, the smoothness of the striking and the grappling, and especially the submissions in comparison, are really good, honestly. But today we're going to talk about how to make the game better, okay? Because there is issues with the game, and I didn't stray away from that the last time. I did openly say, look, I'm a diehard MMA fan, just like a lot of you guys are. I'm here because if you give me an MMA game, I'm going to buy it. And that makes some of my followers mad because they're like, oh, we need to take a stand. I'm like, dude, I get all that. The reality is, I'm a diehard MMA fan. Like, I not only watch all the fights, before I clicked record on this, I was on Chael's YouTube. Before that, I was on MMA Hour because it's Monday. So I'm a diehard 1%er, okay? So if you come out with an MMA game, I'm going to buy it. All right? That being said, there is issues with the game, and we're going to talk about that today. Let's talk about the number one thing that everybody and their uncle is talking about right now, all right? The number one thing that this game needs is to add fighters. It's no secret. But I will say, okay, they got a little bit of a fallback because the reality is they were still adding fighters into UFC 4 just a couple months ago. So that is fair. So I'm sure it is not what we all wanted, and we all wanted to have that initial, even if they just would have added like 10 fighters in the start, I think it would have helped people get over the fact that everyone and all their favorite fighters aren't in the game. But it sucks we have to wait till December, but I do think that they're going to be adding about probably an average of 2 fighters a month. Is that everything we want and more? Of course not. But it's pretty solid. And I think 6 months from now, we're going to have a solid 20 extra fighters. Oh, okay, that's an exaggeration. 10 extra fighters. And a year from now, we'll have a solid 20 extra fighters. And it'll feel a lot better. So add fighters, that's number one. Okay? That's the biggest issue in the game, as far as the number one most popular complaint. Okay, now let's get into the gameplay. Alright, the most important stuff. The adding fighters, I get that covers everybody. Everybody wants that. But let's get into the most important part. Alright, the number one issue with the game currently. Some of y'all will say block breaking, or a different thing that it's attributed because of this, or is an effect of this. The big underlining thing, the reason why the meta is the way that it is the stamina. There's not enough stamina drain. And this is coming from a guy who is a co-founder of No Stam Gang, okay? Just kidding. I own no stakes in No Stam Gang. But I am part of No Stam Gang. I bang that till I die, all right? And I'm not getting tired in these fights. I can go out there and I can pressure. I can, if I want to, keep shooting takedowns. I mean, I've seen guys shoot 50 freaking takedowns and they're fresh as a daisy. You can throw 750 strikes and be fresh, okay? The stamina is broken. It's not only when you're whiffing strikes does it not do enough. So the head movement, it feels like you have to hit that pull counter. You have to hit that slip counter to make the head movement count. Because otherwise, it just feels like I'm making them miss for no reason. I've had fights where it's 5 rounds. I spend the first 3 just absolutely gassing them out, making them miss. I literally had a fight where a dude threw like 780 strikes. He only landed less than 200 of them. And he had about 75% stamina, 80% stamina. It's absolutely ridiculous. Add on the fact that body damage isn't quite doing what it should. Now, I think some people are overestimating it. I don't think, one body shot. It's MMA. This isn't boxing. Body shots you got to be a little bit on your P's and Q's with body shots. People are like, oh, one uppercut. It's like, yeah, man. Watch an MMA fight. If you move your head into a strike and they're wearing 4-ounce gloves, let alone I go to just rip their body right in front of them and they throw an uppercut and hit me, yeah, it's probably going to knock me out or hurt me very bad. So I'm not against the vulnerability there, but I do think that body shots aren't quite doing what they should. It feels like you have to get the finish with the body shot. If you don't, it just seems like the stamina drain isn't enough to really play a big factor unless they're just egregiously whiffing and egregiously letting you hit their body. It doesn't really seem to have much of a toll. So the body shots, the whiffing, it just doesn't do enough to the stamina, and that contributes to the block breaking meta that we're in. The next biggest thing that I gotta say is the tracking. The tracking seems off. Well, it doesn't seem off. It's off. The tracking is off. Okay? I know everybody wants to talk about like fighter uniqueness, and I get that. You can always make the fighters more and more unique to themselves. Nobody's arguing against that. But when we're talking about punches landing when they're not supposed to, or not landing when they're supposed to, when I throw a lead leg body roundhouse and the shin literally hits them directly in the liver on an orthodox with a southpaw fighter, and it doesn't do anything, that's a problem. When I see that the body health didn't even take a dip, that's a problem. Even more so, I say tracking / ghost punches because we've been dealing with this for a long time, and sometimes ghost kicks. Ask Kinetic about that. If you know, you know. If you do know that, you're an OG. Shout out to you. The ghost punches in the clinch. My God, we've been dealing with this for 5 years. How many times am I going to get clinched and they throw knee, and then I pull away and boom, elbow, drops me, and it cost me the fight. Literally last night in my stream, shout out to my YouTube stream. Appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate Prioxis for the raid. In my stream, y'all saw me lose a fight when I was on like a 20-fight win streak where I'm winning the fight. The guy clinches me. He's clinching the whole fight. He clinches me up. Knee, elbow, knee, ghost uppercut. Boom. Knocks me down. I go to get up. Clinches me up against the cage. Knee, uppercut. Drops me again. Puts me up against the cage. Boom, boom, boom. TKO finished me. After I literally controlled the entirety of the fight. The tracking, the ghost punches, it needs to be addressed. Now that we're talking about getting put up against the cage and weird stuff happening, let's talk about the camera angles. My God, we've always had issues with the camera angles. You're looking at your guy's left butt cheek when I'm trying to see if the guy's posturing up and mount about to finish the fight, and I'm looking at his left calf. But in UFC 5, man, this guy's posturing up. I got Derek Lewis posturing up in full mount on me. Meanwhile, I'm in Section 3, Row A, B, Section A, Seat 47B, chilling over there behind Bruce Buffer. My God, some of these camera angles, camera glitches are insane. We got to address it. We need to fix it. Now let's move into the next part, okay? The takedowns. My God, the submission system's so good. Thank you. And if you don't know, if you're thinking, oh, the submission system's not good, I go to do a fake and they deny it and I still get... I will say the animation for when you go for a fake and they deny it, that needs to be fixed because it looks like they're denying you, so everybody thinks that it's broken. And, oh, the fakes don't work. Even good players, elite players I've seen say, the fakes don't work. They actually do work, but I can't knock you for thinking they don't because the animation makes it look like they don't. If I go, let's say I'm in the armbar, I go to roll. I do a fake roll to full guard. He denies it, and my guy goes, ugh. And I can't see their HUD because if you're past Division 15, you don't have a HUD. So I can't see that. He actually took more drain than I did. Why would I think that when I just saw, if you've been playing the UFC games the whole series, you just saw my transition get denied. Why would I think that I have the upper hand now? I should think the opposite, that he has the upper hand. So it's an issue that I don't know how that happened, but that animation should be fixed. But I am here to tell you, the submission system does work. It just has a weird animation for when you get denied, but you didn't really get denied. It's a little bit tricky. I am going to do a tutorial for that. Hashtag self-plug. But right now, the submission system's so good, but we can't get the fight to the ground unless you want to be T4H, unless you want to have that provolone cheddar mozzarella. You got to have that Colby Jack. I got to hit you with that Colby Jack clinch. I got to hit you with that mozzarella, provolone. You know what I mean? I got to hit you with that double leg bail right into the Gouda Swiss provolone. Okay? AKA I got a double leg bail over under pull guard. Oh no, papa, not just any pull guard. I'm pulling guard into mount. Because me, as somebody who's been doing jiu-jitsu almost 9 years, can someone out there teach me how to pull guard into mount? Because I didn't wrestle in high school. I didn't wrestle in college. I like to think my wrestling has gotten pretty solid. But I don't have 20 years wrestling experience. So if someone out there watching this can point me into a direction where I can learn how to pull guard into mount, it would make my life a lot easier. Sometimes I got to wrestle these D1 wrestlers at one of these jiu-jitsu tournaments. I'd love to know how to pull guard into mount. That would make my MMA sparring rounds a lot safer. So that's not a thing. If you really want to make guard pulling a thing, okay, that's fine. It should be a different... There needs to be a difference, though, because the mount is absolutely... First of all, it's not a real thing. It's completely fake. It's supposed to be as real as it gets. We're not as real as it gets when we can pull somebody on top of me and get an automatic roll into the most dominant position in MMA. I guess second most dominant behind back flat or back mount with them flattened out. But that's neither here nor there, okay? The takedowns are ridiculous. There's no range on them. I'll literally be Bo Nickel, and I have to shoot a takedown from 6 inches away. Not to mention, that's so easy to deny. Let's be real, guys. If you're in Division 20 and you want to wrestle, it sucks because the submission system, the ground game is a lot... the ground game, because of the submission system, is better. And I can't be a grappler. I can't be a wrestler because... I have to cheese, and I don't want to play like that, especially as a content creator, as a streamer. Nobody wants to watch me go clinch, clinch, guard pull. Clinch, clinch, uppercut, ghost uppercut, knee. Double leg bail, guard pull. Double leg bail. Oh, he's starting to catch on to the guard pull. Oh, look at me, I'm high level. Double bail into the takedown this time. Whoa, I did a clinch throw. He was expecting the guard pull and I did the clinch throw. Hashtag high level, hashtag elite. Nobody wants to do that. But if I pick GSP and the guy has 2 hands and 2 eyeballs, even if he has 1 eyeball, hashtag Michael Bisping, he can deny every takedown. Okay? Make wrestling great again. I don't want to be guard pulling them out and double leg bailing into a fake guard pull into a judo throw. Okay? I want to wrestle. I want to do real wrestling and takedowns. Please buff the takedowns. And just, if you could just Control Alt Delete the guard pull, or at least make a regular ass guard pull where I pull them on top and make that even easy to deny. Just, I don't know. Takedowns need a buff. And I spoke on this a little bit, but my last little bonus top, the HUD. Plus, past Division 15, you don't have a HUD. And I just talked about when it comes to the submission game, I get why you want to make it, oh, there's no HUD now. It's a little bit, you got to be more high level. But the reality is, when we compete in ESFL, when we compete in DGL, when we compete in your favorite fight league, we have the HUD anyways. The highest level players are out there with a HUD. Especially now the way the submission system works, it turns into like a memory game or a guessing game. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have gotten very good at it. Like, my submission defense, I know now that the fakes work, and I know how if they want to grab an armbar and just punch me, I'm like, okay, now I cook you. Now you run out of stamina, and I get the free escape. I know these things that 99.9% of people don't know in the game, unfortunately, because there's not a really great tutorial. And if you're just a casual player that doesn't know to go on YouTube and search something. But without the HUD, people are just playing a guessing game or they're playing the memory game. So bring the HUD back, buff the takedowns, fix the camera angles, work on the tracking. It's not going to be perfect. Work on the tracking, take away the ghost. If you can't fix all the ghost punches, fine. But can we work on that clinch uppercut? Can we work on the invisible ghost upper from the clinch, preferably after or specifically after 2 strikes have been thrown and you're working on that number 3? Can we do that? Can we work on making body shots and whiffing shots more impactful? Can we do that for the stamina, for the block breaking? Can we add some fighters? If we do that, this is a 10 out of 10. If we do half of those things, we're up to an 8.5. But right now in this state, we're at a 7. I'm an MMA diehard. I'm not as, end all negative. I'm not saying, fuck EA, bro. Like, piece of shit. They're the devil. No, I'm not saying all that. I will pull one out, aka I will cheers this one to the OGs and the UFC community that, have been taking it on the chin for years. Shout out to y'all. And I will see you in the stream tonight. I hope this has, I hope this was organized enough, I put these thoughts down in like a legitimately 2 minutes before I started this recording. I'm going to think of something that I left out when I end this, but these are the main ones that I thought about. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see fixed. Let me know what in the comments you think needs to be fixed first and most importantly. Alright? Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Click subscribe, turn your post notifications on. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate JMMA for this thumbnail. You're the man, and I appreciate every one of you guys watching. It's been real. It's been fun. I'm going to catch you live. I've been multi-streaming, so I'll catch you on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok, I haven't streamed on Twitter, but I am focusing on YouTube, so I'll see you guys here in a little bit. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.